Jai Jagannath. I am presenting today a PowerPoint presentation that was sent to me by the Hindu Education Foundation. I am a member of their organization. They're based in the United States. And they have prepared a presentation for the public schools, specifically students out in the 5th grade of public school, under the category of history and social sciences, and it's a quiz on ancient India. So we have the first page. It's the topic of urban planning. So many people believe that ancient India was not very civilized, very advanced. So there are a lot of misconceptions about ancient civilizations, and especially about ancient India. So we'll see exactly what they prepared for the school children in the United States. So, question. The Indus-Saraswati civilization was known for its advanced city planning. What was a unique feature of their cities? Options. A. Giant stone pyramids. B. Underground drainage and sewage systems. C. Walled cities with no windows. It's funny. D. Cities built on mountain peaks. Of course, the hint. Think about how they kept the streets clean and manage water. How could they do that? Yeah, definitely the correct answer is B, underground drainage and sewage system. So we have here in Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, when they found out these drainage system, they were actually under the streets and they were covered. So there could be the waste was running away, and they had flush toilets. Interesting. Then question. Ancient Indians made significant contributions to mathematics. Which concept used globally today originated in India? Options. A. The first use of a ruler. B. The 360-day calendar. C. Roman numerals. D. The decimal system and the concept of zero. Hint. It is a number that represents nothing but makes all modern math possible. Yeah, you guessed it right. It's the concept of zero and the decimal system. So the 360-day calendar is coming from the Babylonian or Chaldean tradition, which is still influencing the geometry measurements of angles. So we have 360 degrees and 180 and 90 and 45 degrees and less than that, measuring the angles. And then we have the 60-minute hours and the 60-second minute, and that is all based on 360, which is Mesopotamia. Then the Roman numerals, of course, are not Roman. The Roman numerals were very different from the decimal system. the Roman numerals were based on the shape of human hands. So 5 was the entire hand, open hand, which looks like a V. Then we have 1 was one straight vertical line, like one finger. Then to write 4, they were writing 5 minus 1. And if they wanted to write 6, they were writing 5 plus 1, and so on. So, of course, let's see what we see here. This is the alphabet, the Brahmi alphabet, the Brahmi numbers, which are decimal numbers, 1 to 0 to 9. And in Hindi, Hindi and Sanskrit, they also have 0 to 9. The Arabs got the idea from India when they invaded India and they raided, and they took some books. Some of the books, some of the knowledge in the books they took away were about mathematics, but also astronomy, chemistry, alchemy, and all the practical sciences like medicine. Especially medicine was very interesting for them, and it became extremely popular because there was no such medicine in the Arabian culture until then. And the ancient medicine from the classic world had been completely destroyed by the Christianization of Europe, because the idea of the Christian, the Christian doctrine was that disease was a curse from God, so it was blasphemy trying to cure the disease. So, okay. And that's how after the Crusades, when Europe got some information from the Arabian countries, from which in turn had taken the information from India, they started to get some ideas about medicine. In fact, the first universities in Europe taught medicine through the works of 2 big Arab scholars, Avicenna and Averroes. Abu Ali-Sina, and I don't remember the Arabic name of the other one. So we have the medieval. Medieval means that after the Crusades, these numbers were taken by the Europeans from the Arabs, and they were introduced in the academic studies of mathematics, which means also geometry and everything. So that is the medieval shape. And we can see, for example, the 0 is the same, always the same. Then the 1 is practically the same. The 2 is also very similar. The 3 is always the same. The 4 we can see from the Sanskrit to the medieval, which is simply upside down, but it's okay. Then we have the 5, which is a little confusing maybe for people who superimpose it with the 4. Then the 6 was basically the same with the Brahmi, but had some modifications in between. The 7th was exactly the same with the Brahmi script. The 8 was also taken from a little bit from the Brahmi, but became more rounded, and the 9 was practically the same. Looked a lot like the 7 in the Brahmi script, and let's tell the truth, a little bit also in the modern script. So this is the pronunciation. Then let's go to the next question. What is the meaning of the Sanskrit word dharma in the context of Indian culture? This is an extremely interesting question because also many Indians are not very aware of this. So the hint, it relates to doing the right thing to keep the world in balance, which is a very good definition. So the options, the answers, the students were asked to choose among the followings. A, the name of a specific king? Nah. B, a type of ancient currency? No, I mean, it sounds a bit like drachma. They probably wanted to, trick the students, the superficial students, into thinking that dharma is drachma, but it's not the same. Then righteousness, duty, and cosmic order. Yeah, I think that's the one. Or D, just to, to mislead the superficial student, a ritual involving fire only. No, it's not, of course not. So dharma means righteousness, duty, and cosmic order. Means doing the right thing to keep the world in balance. So this is a picture that illustrates the meaning. Then we go next group of questions. Question. The Vedas are some of the oldest scriptures in the world. In what language were they originally composed? Okay, options. Hieroglyphics or hieroglyphs. B, Sanskrit. C, Latin. D, English. English definitely not. Latin, nah. Hieroglyphics are specifically Egyptian. No other culture had hieroglyphics. They had pictograms, like in China, but hieroglyphics is specifically Egyptian. So hint, it is often called the mother of many languages in the Indo-European family. Okay. I would have to discuss about the Indo-European family, but let it go. So definitely the answer is B, Sanskrit. So we go and we have a picture of the Rig Veda. Rig literally means hymn. So it's a collection, the Rig Veda Samhita is a collection of hymns. Okay, then written in Sanskrit. Yeah, this is the Devanagari script. Okay, next question. The Ayurvedic system is one of the world's oldest forms of medicine. What does it emphasize for health? Oh, interesting. Ayurveda is now very popular, at global level. So, options. Solely focusing on physical exercise? Nah. Using only chemical pills? Nah. C, ignoring the role of diet? Nah. D, balance between body, mind, and spirit? Hint. It looks at the whole person, not just a single symptom. So this is what today in the so-called New Age culture, it is called holistic, which means you see things in their entirety, not, piece by piece, but the whole thing that works together. So definitely chemical pills only started with the Industrial Revolution, so that's about 1700, 1800s, and developed specifically in the 1900s around the World War, Second World War, and after that. Ignoring the role of diet, absolutely, the diet has been very important in all the ancient systems of medicine. There is a very famous saying attributed to the ancient classical Greek medicine that say, let the food be your medicine and let the medicine be your food. So definitely ignoring the role of diet because you are using chemical pills is not a good idea. But definitely the balance between body, mind, and spirit is something that can actually help us a lot, because many problems, our bodily problems are connected with the mind, with the emotion trigger endorphins. They can influence digestion, immune system. So mind is very important, not just for the mental diseases, but also for the physical diseases. And what is the spirit? Many people don't have any idea what spirit is, but definitely the spirit can influence the mind in a very positive way. So this is the fundamental science of yoga. Then let's see, Ayurveda. So the Ayurveda, here we have a nice picture with all the nice symbols, like Aghosh Prasad Subramani made this drawing, which is nice. And here we have a number of herbs. In fact, most of the best allopathic medicines today are just herbal extracts, like, for example, aspirin. Aspirin was known to ancient cultures, even back to the Neanderthals. They used the bark of the willow tree, from which the name salicylic acid is derived. So, this is what ancient cultures were doing. The chemical pills are just a way for the pharma industry to get rich. Okay. Next question. Which famous ancient university was a world center of learning located in India? And we have Nalanda, Oxford, the Library of Alexandria, Sparta Academy. Okay, there was no such thing as a Sparta Academy. There was an academy in Athens, from which the common word Athenaeum is coming, that today in today's dictionaries in English refers to all universities in general. Oxford, of course, was not located in India and was not so ancient because it was founded after the year 1000 of the current era by the church. The Library of Alexandria was actually very famous and ancient and a world center of learning, but it was not located in India. So we are just left with option A, which is Nalanda. So hint, it was located in Bihar and had a massive library that scholars traveled miles to visit. It also had a lot of students coming from all the Mediterranean and also from China. It was a Buddhist university, actually. And it was founded, I think, by Ashok, King Ashok. It taught a lot of subjects, mostly scientific subjects, medicine, and like that. So it is from the University of Nalanda that the traditional Chinese medicine was exported. Not only the Chinese traditional medicine, but also the Chinese science, the martial arts that we know today is Shaolin and everything. So, basically the Library of Alexandria was also very famous, but it happened later. Both Nalanda and Alexandria were destroyed by Abrahamics. Nalanda was destroyed by Muslims, and Alexandria was mostly destroyed by Christians, and then also whatever was left was destroyed by Muslims. So, alas. Yeah, that is Nalanda. That, what is left, at least, about Nalanda. Let's see, next question. In Hindu philosophy, what does the term karma refer to? Okay. A ritual performed at birth. Interesting. B, good luck that happens by chance. No. C, the law of cause and effect based on actions. And D, the name of the ancient Indian capital. No, definitely not. So, here the A option actually can use some, is coming from a certain confusion that might be popular among the superficial and not so properly knowledgeable Hindus, because the ritual performed at birth is called Jata Karma. Karma actually means action, activities, which by large also means duties. And it actually, can relate to ritual activities. But no, that is not just that. Because actually in a general global parlance now, karma is considered like destiny. It's not exactly true, or it is used either by good or bad. So good luck or bad luck, that is not happening by chance, by some kind of destiny or fate or whatever. Not exactly, because karma means action. Now, karma means good action. When we want to speak about bad karma, we should speak about vikarma or even ugra karma, which is respectively actions that are not prescribed duties and criminal actions. So the karma is the actions that are prescribed as duties by the Orthodox tradition. Like Bhagavad Gita is saying that swakarma is swadharma. So the activities of the Brahmana, the duties of the Brahmana, are the activities of the Brahmana. Okay, that is why the first option, option A, can be a little confusing. Option B, of course, it doesn't happen by chance, because action doesn't happen by chance. It's actually based on choice. C, the law of cause and effect based on actions. Yeah, this is it. Of course, it's not the name of an ancient Indian capital, because there are no such city. Okay, hint, it is often summed up as what you sow, you shall reap. Yep, cause and effect. I think it's also called the third law of thermodynamics, if I'm not mistaken. Newton, the third of the Newton laws. And here we have this clueless guy who's just pushing a stone or a domino piece and, doesn't, even imagine that it will come back to him and, squash him with the last one. Okay. Then we have question. In the Indus-Saraswati city of Mohenjo-daro, archaeologists found a massive public water tank used for rituals. What is this famous structure called? Okay. Option A, the giant well. Okay. B, the great bath. C, the royal pool. D, the river basin. So I believe definitely the giant well it is not. We have stairwells in other cities, in other places. In Mohenjo-daro we had an actual kunda. Now it's a little strange. Between the B and C, they could both be public swimming pools. So I would be a little perplexed, to choose between B or C. Of course, it's not the river basin. That's a totally different thing. But between B and C, I wouldn't exactly know which one they mean. But it's okay. Let's go on. Let's see if the next. Okay, the presentation. Is the next picture? No, it doesn't have any description. Okay, this is a big thing. Could be the Great Bath or the Royal Pool. Either. Okay, then we go to the next question. Ancient India led the world in metallurgy. The iron pillar of Delhi is famous because it A. was built by extraterrestrial. I don't think they left their signature and photo. B. is the tallest building in the world. Not, definitely not. The pillar is not the tallest building. C. is made of solid gold. Don't make me laugh. It's called the iron pillar for what? Because it's gold? No. D. has not rusted in over 1600 years. Yeah, I think it's D. Hint, despite being outside in rain and sun for centuries, it stays clean. Yeah, that is also, I have observed the same characteristic, for example, in some iron beams, support beams, that were removed from the ancient Konark temple in Orissa, which actually they're very interesting because they're exposed. Anyone can see them. I also have some nice photos. And the atmosphere in Konark is much more corrosive than in Delhi because it's very near to the sea, to the ocean, to the sea, the Gulf of Bengal. And the air is extremely salty and extremely corrosive. You know that humidity with salt will rust anything. Believe you me, I was in Puri for many years and I had brought some floppy disks that were used in the 80s and 90s, and I had to throw them all away because they rusted. There was no stainless steel that could stay stainless for more than 1 week or 2 weeks. So these beams, these iron support beams are very interesting because of they're showing their cross section, and their structure is extremely interesting because it's layered structure. It looks almost like organic. So yeah, so definitely the option D is the correct one. And let's see this pillar, in the iron pillar. We see is black, like, fresh iron. No trace of reddish rust. Next question. What is the primary goal of yoga as practiced in ancient Indian traditions? Oh, this is very interesting. Okay. Many people think that yoga is a physical exercise or a fitness practice or a sport even. It's an athletic competition. They wanted to put yoga in the Olympics. So the options are A, winning athletic competitions. No. B, union of the individual self with the universal consciousness. Yeah, I think that's it. C, a strictly physical stretching routine. Definitely not. D, to learn how to breathe slowly. Not really. So hint, the word itself means union or to yoke, to connect. So definitely it's B. Okay, let's continue. our analysis, and we see analysis, body, mind, and spirit. We have the yoga here. Okay, whatever. Question. What did the Hindu Saraswati people use that was remarkably consistent across all their cities? Okay, so hint, construction and trade require these two things to be the same everywhere. So what can it be? Definitely not the coins with the king's face. Nope. Digital scales, no digital, unfortunately. Digitization has come in the last less than 50 years. And single natural uniform, yeah, right, that's not it either. So it must be brick sizes and weights, which is, wow, yes, definitely. And in fact, in my research, I found out that the Pakistani government continued to use the bricks from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa for generations to in the beginning, especially in the beginning of the 19th century onwards, to build to support the railway system. So that they were building the railway with the bricks from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Interesting. So we see here that is a drainage. We can see the bricks are very, clearly uniform. And this is also a very interesting picture because it's a slap in the face for, the stupid, speculation and fantasy that Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were destroyed by a nuclear explosion. We have Davenport and the other one, I don't remember, which, who wrote the famous book, Nuclear War in Ancient India. Now I don't remember the name, but if you want to see my book, Gods or Aliens, question mark, I'm debunking all these stupid ideas. And unfortunately, many people keep copying and pasting these ideas, and which are completely disproven by, let's see, how in these bricks that were from the Indus Valley civilization, from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa especially, how are they vitrified or damaged by nuclear explosion? I don't see that. They seem actually quite pristine. So we know from geological research and actual archaeological research, that the Indus and Saraswati Valley cities were abandoned due to climate change. Not because of any war or Aryan invasion, stupid Aryan invasion theory, or even the extraterrestrial Brahmastra, nuclear wars. No, nothing of the kind. That's all fantasy and speculation, which have no support in actual evidence. Next question. Siddhartha Gautama, who became the Buddha, was born into which of these groups? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, hint. He gave up a life of luxury and a kingdom to find the cause of suffering. The kingdom must be option C, because the royal family in northern India, is definitely it. Obviously, it's not a family of humble farmers, it's not a group of traders, and definitely not the Roman Senate. So, royal family in northern India, specifically in Bihar, or Nepal. Sometimes generally the two main places of pilgrimage for the Buddhists are Lumbini, which is, I think, in Nepal, where Siddhartha Gautama was born. And nearby we have Bihar, not so far, still in northern India, where Siddhartha Gautama is said to have attained the enlightenment, specifically in the place that is now called Bodh Gaya. Bodh Gaya means Gaya of the enlightenment. Bodha is, strictly connected, etymologically speaking, to the Buddha. Okay, so let's see next. Yeah, we have here the birth of the baby Siddhartha. Okay, or I think, I don't know if it's the baby Siddhartha, I think it's a son of, the child of Siddhartha. I'm not sure about this picture, but okay, we'll just keep it. Okay, question. What are the Four Noble Truths in Buddhist teachings primarily about? Oh, hint. It starts with acknowledging challenges and ends with a solution. Okay, challenges and solutions, definitely. It's not the four directions of the compass. Apart from the fact that the compass has 8 directions, and in the Vedic tradition the directions are 10, because besides the 4 main points like north, west, south, and east, they also have the intermediate direction, which is northeast, east, southeast, and this and that. So they made 8, plus up and down, which are also 2 directions. So, okay, no, D is not. Rules for building temples. Nah, not. The Four Noble Truths of building temples. Buddhists are not about building temples, of course not. The 4 main gods of the world. What is the challenge of the gods of the world? No thanks. The nature of suffering and the path to end it. Yes, it must be option A. And here we go. And yeah. Okay. Oh, the Four Noble Truths. 1. Life has inevitable suffering. Okay, let's skip about the spelling. 2. There is a cause to our suffering. Yeah. 3. There is an end to suffering. Yeah. 4. The end to suffering is contained in the Eightfold Noble Path, which is righteousness, basically, so that we don't make bad karma, like ugra karma especially, or vikarma, And inevitable sufferings are connected to the fact that we have a material body and a material mind. According to the Vedic tradition, there are 3 categories of sufferings. The most, basic is the adhyatmika klesha, which means the sufferings caused by our own self, by ourselves, through the body and mind. So the adhyatmika klesha are the sufferings that are connected to our thing, our body, our mind, our struggle for existence, to survive and to, go on in life. Then we have the adibhautika klesha, which are the sufferings that we suffer, that we, are given by other beings, from the murderers and the thieves to the mosquitoes. So they're all adibhautika klesha. Then we have the third category is the adidayika klesha, which are the sufferings caused by natural agents, but the material nature, such as excessive heat, excessive cold, earthquakes, cyclones, and whatever. But these are all adidayika klesha. So, but all these sufferings, all these kleshas, can only be experienced by our body and mind, not by the self. So if we achieve moksha, liberation, we don't need to keep or to take another material body. So we are not going to suffer anymore. So this is called the end to suffering. So the cause to our suffering is the incarnation. Without a material body and material mind, how you suffer? Atman is never suffering. Then, question. Okay. In the Hindu tradition, what does the Trimurti represent? Oh, hint. It represents the cycle of the universe, beginning, middle, and end. Yeah. So definitely it must be the option D, creation, preservation, and transformation. It definitely is not a three-headed dragon, or the three main rivers of India, nope, or the 3 stages of a student's life. I didn't know that a student's life had 3 stages, but okay, whatever. But it's not the option, it's not the correct answer. So basically, Murti means 3 forms, and they're actually generally depicted as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva respectively, but that is also something that we would need to explain better. And this picture is actually just Brahma only, which is portrayed with 3 heads, actually with 4 heads, because the 4th head is on the other side. Okay, but no problem. Let's continue. Then, question. The Bhagavad Gita is a famous text that is part of a larger epic. What is the name of that epic? It is the longest epic poem ever written. Okay, that I am not 100% sure, but it's definitely bigger than the other ones. It's bigger than the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is quite short, and it was written in Sumer, ancient Mesopotamia. The Odyssey, of course, that's not so long. It's a story of Ulysses, the travels, the journey of Ulysses, which was written in ancient Greece. And that's also very interesting. Maybe sometime we'll talk about it, but not now. And the Ramayana, the Valmiki Ramayana is also quite long, but definitely the Mahabharata is longer. So the option C is the correct answer. Then we go and we see here, we have Krishna and Arjuna. Question, true or false? True or false? Ancient Indian surgeons, led by Sushruta, were able to perform complex surgeries like fixing broken bones and early forms of plastic surgery. Yeah. Hint, remember his title, The Father of Surgery? Yeah, kind of. Okay, this is Captain Obvious to the rescue. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Then, in fact, yeah, okay. Sorry. So, this is, an example of a surgeon. And the interesting thing is that, contrarily to what many people think, in ancient medicine, there was ample use of anesthetics. In fact, many of such anesthetics were extremely powerful and continued to be used along the centuries until quite recently. Like opium, for example, wow, is so characteristic of ancient cultures that it was normally consumed even in the ancient Mediterranean cultures, and it was taken mostly from India and China. And another interesting anesthetic is the datura, called datura stramonium, which actually completely suspends the consciousness. In fact, still today, some unscrupulous people use datura. They give datura to unsuspecting victims so they can rob them. Because when they fall unconscious, they don't know what's happening. They have no idea what's happening. And that's the best for anesthesia, and it's much safer than the modern medicine anesthesia that is extremely dangerous and has terrible side effects. Datura doesn't, especially if the dosage is right. It was commonly used. It's a very, very often, mentioned in chronicles and stories and everything. So let's go on. Then we have the concept of ahimsa is important in many Indian religions. Many, okay, just 3. What does it mean? Okay, hint. Mahatma Gandhi later used this principle to lead India to independence. Okay, we have to skip this because I have some elaboration that I could have on Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Well, let's skip this, but definitely it's not building tall monuments. Nope. And the type of spice, interesting. And fast running, that would be nice. If we could get independence from a colonial power by running very fast. Okay. So definitely it's non-violence towards all living beings. Okay. Okay, let's take option C. Let's see here. We have this nice Mohandas Karamchand. And we have a Buddha here, which, okay. Buddhism is supporting non-violence, ahimsa. But Jainism is still more radical about non-violence. I think even too radical. While in Hinduism or Vedic Dharma, violence, ahimsa, non-violence, ahimsa is not abstention from action, but is the absence of hatred. So it's not exactly non-violence, it means specifically non-hatred, non-killing, not trying to harm unnecessarily. But Hinduism definitely supports the right to self-defense. Okay, let's go next. Which of these groups of major world religions all originated in India? These are often called dharmic religions. Okay, that's interesting. So we have option D, Taoism and Confucianism. No thanks, these are Far East stuff. C, Islam and Shintoism. Okay, that's funny because one originated in Arabia and the other is specifically Japanese. So, nah. Hinduism, Judaism and Christianity. No, definitely Judaism and Christianity were not originated in India. So we are just left with Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism and Sikhism. Okay. Which are dharmic. They're called dharmic because they are all based on the concept of dharma. Well, Taoism and Confucianism are strictly related to dharmic concepts as well, but we can discuss about that some other time. So, we have Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. Okay, they're all Indian people. Yay. Okay, what was one of the most highly prized goods India exported along the Silk Road? Hint. Europeans sailed around the world to find these food flavourings. So definitely not the steam engines. You don't flavor food with the steam engines. Potatoes and tomatoes, no, we know they're coming from America. So they didn't appear in Europe until after the discovery of America, so after the 1500s, and came to India even later with the British colonial period, which means that potatoes and tomatoes reached India only in the 1800s. Still, as well as chilies, like these chili peppers. Yeah, kind of. Interesting. So potatoes and chilies are so Indian today that you wouldn't believe they were not, exported along the Silk Road from India to Europe. Anyway, so ice for cooling drinks. Nah. Yeah, the Silk Road would not allow ice to be transported more than for 10 minutes because it was very hot. Cooling drinks, no. Ice was generally, had to be produced locally. And it was produced locally in many countries. They didn't get it from India. Okay, then we have spices and high quality cotton. Okay, so high quality cotton is definitely not a food flavoring, but okay, spices wins the contest. And it is spices. Oh, cotton, okay. What about opium and indigo? Okie dokie. Question, the word India is derived from the name of which major river? Options, okay. The people living near this river called it the Sindhu, okay. So definitely Mississippi, nah. Amazon, nah. Nile, nah. Where is the India here? Indus, India, Indus, hey, look at that, Sindhu. Where is the Nile River? Egypt. Where is the Amazon River? South America. Where is the Mississippi River? North America. Yay! So, have nothing to do with India. And here it is. The Indus or Sindhus. And this is it. Yeah, Hindu Kush, Khyber Pass, Thar Desert. Yeah, the Indus Valley civilization became a desert. Look at that, Thar Desert. Because it dried up. The Indus and Saraswati dried up. So, let's go on. Next question. Archaeologists found many seals with images of animals. What was their likely purpose? Oh, interesting. Think about how we use barcodes on boxes today. So the seals with images of animals are definitely not to tell the weather. And how would you know if that type of cookie? Oh God. And toys for children? No, they had better toys. Children were playing with other stuff, not with seals with images of animals. So definitely, yeah, it is option B for trade and marking ownership. That was also used in Mesopotamian civilization because that's logical. Okay. And nice, we have the swastika here, which is not an animal, but it was very much used, just like the cross. Actually, the swastika is an extremely ancient symbol that represents the turning of the wheel of the cosmos. So the ancient civilizations, including the Vedic civilization and the the Indus Valley civilization was, almost Vedic, was Anarya, but it was from the same kind of culture. They had a great knowledge of astronomy, so they observed the movement of the stars and constellations, which has a circular motion. And they are circling around the North Pole or Pole Star. So the swastika represents that. And the cross actually originally represented in many other cultures as well. It represented the meeting from, of the divine and the human platform, the ascending and the horizontal levels. And of course, we see the other seals, they also have inscriptions. I don't know what is the present situation of the deciphering of the Indus-Saraswati script. I'm not informed enough, but definitely this is a writing. No way that it's not a writing. And this is a nice seal, like, okay. So, anyway, next. Ancient Indian astronomers like Aryabhata correctly calculated that. Okay, So, hint. He lived in the 5th century and explained solar and lunar eclipses. Aryabhata, 5th century, but in fact, ancient Indian astronomers were much earlier than that. Anyway, so option, there are only 108 stars. No, definitely not. The sun is made of hot water. Nope. The earth is flat. Nope. C, the earth is a sphere and rotates on its axis. Yeah, thank you. That's option C. And this we have a nice Aryabhata guy who's watching all the planets. Okay. Next, what is the common thread among the diverse religions and cultures of India? Is there any hint here? Okay, no, they forgot the hint. Okay. 1. Option A, modern science is not important. Yeah, who said that? B, speaking only one language. No, not even Hindi. Thanks. C, one way to think. Yeah, to think what? D, a shared commitment to justice and harmony, which is exactly the concept of Dharma that we were talking about a bit earlier. So definitely D. Let's see. Yay, we have all the different cultures. There are so many languages in India, so yeah. Yeah, English too, why not, Don't be Anglophobes, okay. Next question. Many popular board games played globally today have roots in ancient India. Really? Which of these is one of them? Okay, definitely not Minecraft or Monopoly. Hint, it's a game of strategy involving kings. Knights means, knights are riding horses, right? And elephants. Yeah, well, chess doesn't, modern chess doesn't have elephants, but definitely not Monopoly, Scrabble, or Minecraft. So they must be chess, Chaturanga. And we have here, hey, look at that, Krishna and Lakshmi playing chess. Yes. And we have some, hey, look at the elephants. Nice. Okay, elephants were there. I think that it's a bit different from what they use today globally, but it's okay. The idea is the same. Question. In the Vedic period, women like Gargi and Maitreyi were famous for being what? Okay, hint, they participated in high-level intellectual debates with the top scholars of the time, so they were not ship captains. I don't think so. Intellectual debates, silent observers, nope. Olympic athletes, no, definitely not. To be an Olympic athlete, you don't need to be intellectual. Yeah, you just need to exercise your body. Oh, we have option C, great philosophers and scholars. Yay, I think that's the correct one. And let's see, Gargi and Maitreyi, Rishikas. Look at that. The lady is speaking. And in fact, Saraswati is the mother of all knowledge. Okay, let's go. Standard 6.5. The Indus River Valley. Oh, answer 6.6. Ancient India's expansion and religion. So you need to have a map. Okay, and this is for essays and exercises with maps. So locate the Indus River, Saraswati River Valley on a map. Discuss the advanced urban planning, grid system, sanitation of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Explain the significance of the Vedas and the origins of the Sanskrit language. Then outline the origins of Hinduism, including the concepts of Dharma and Karma. Describe the life of Siddhartha Gautama and the core teachings of Buddhism, such as the Four Noble Truths. Oh, analyze the Mauryan Empire. Where are the question 8 and 16? I didn't see them. List the contributions of ancient India to science, mathematics, and medicines, including zero surgery and astronomy. Okay, that is there. Okay, references, topics covered. Let's see. It's a bit, let's see, city planning. Okay, we have some reference, the standardization, trade, Dharma, Karma, Ahimsa, origins, Siddhartha Gautama, Four Noble Truths, empires and leadership, Mauryan kingdoms, edicts, Ashoka carved messages of justice and morality on 2 rocks, and pillar edicts through his empire to communicate with the citizens, science, math and education, mathematics, decimal system. Okay, so this is it. Image references. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. Thanks for okay, we have oops.